This is Anglerfishy. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good whatever time it is for you. Have a good one. I'm mad. I'm upset with myself because of my buffoonery. So, it's been a while since I've done one of these chit-chatty sort of videos going over, where I am with my collection, how I'm feeling, what are my thoughts, what's on my mind. And I want to share that with you because I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool, such a boo-boo the fool. Okay, so the last time I did one of these videos, I talked about the state of my SD collections, my 1/3 scale dolls. And I am having another conundrum where basically, to summarize it, long story short, I have 4 MSDs on pre-order. That was never the plan. That was never the intention. I never wanted to have so many darn dolls on pre-order, and yet here I am with 4 MSD dolls, on the way essentially. And I blame my well, it's my fault. I was gonna blame my character, my OC, but it is me. I'm the one in control here, and yet here I am doing this. So basically, my hopes, my dreams of shelling my character has led me to this day where I have too many dolls on pre-order, and I'm losing it. So let me just backtrack this. So I have this trio of characters that I've wanted to shell for a long time. Well, let me backtrack it even longer. Let me go back, because I don't expect anyone to remember anything I said in the last video, the last time I talked about the shelling adventures. So when I first got introduced to BJDs, I got introduced pretty much primarily through YouTube, and one of the YouTube trends that I really gravitated towards was people talking about shelling characters, where they had a character in mind and they deliberately sought out sculpts to essentially encapsulate those characters in a physical mold. That was super appealing to me because I had this long-standing trio of characters that were essentially my muses. Like, when I want to draw and I don't know what to draw, I usually default to one of these. And these characters, I call them my bunny girls. And they're not actually rabbits, but they have rabbit ears. Anime shit. But, so, the trio is Portobello, Magnolia, and Gorse. And I'm not going to go over their personalities, that's not really too relevant, but in terms of the physical attributes, the things to know is that Portobello, my main girl, the one that I really want to shell, she has sleepy eyes, she has got big lips, usually an open mouth. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I usually draw her with parted lips, so that's something that I'm looking for in a sculpt. And as far as the body goes, I would like a curvy body, hourglass. I would like it to be curvy, plus size, but if not, hourglass would be preferred. My second character is Magnolia, and she's got wide eyes, she's got a round face, more of a pointed nose, and for her body, pear-shaped. And I should clarify, well, let me continue. And as for Gorse, the third one, the one she doesn't have, her design isn't quite as defined in my mind, so I've got more wiggle room with her. She has large, intense eyes, a pointed face, and spindly. These are the 3. And the thing to know about the 3 of these is that all of them have brown skin. So I set out on my adventure to shell these characters, and I was determined to shell them as what I thought was at the time my favorite size, 1/3 scale dolls, SDs. And that did not pan out. That turned out really difficult because I was trying to balance out, my own aesthetic preferences in terms of dolls, trying to get the right body types for them, trying to hybrid it with resin colors that match, and trying to make the 3 of them look like they exist in the same world, because you can get all these attributes, but if the dolls are in radically different styles, like one of them is more realistic than the other, then, they don't necessarily match. I don't think a lot of people care about that sort of thing, but for some reason at the time, I really did. So I felt very unsatisfied with my sort of collection for a while, because the main reason why I got into the doll is shelling these 3 characters, especially Portobello, especially the main girl. It wasn't panning out. So I only actually, at the last year, I think it's been like a whole year since I filmed the last time, like my last chit chat video. Oh my goodness. But the last time, the only one of my trio girls that I have shelled is Magnolia. I didn't get to shell Portobello. I mean, I came close. I got her head, I got her body, and then I thought, you know what, this is not working. I sold them both because it was just too much. It was getting too expensive. I didn't have the space. I'd have to do like mod projects to make the head and the body work and whatever. That's in the past. It is what it is. So basically, as I was going through that shelling adventure, my love for these characters kind of diminished. And I know that's really sad to say. Your opinions of your own characters really shouldn't be impacted by whether or not you're able to shell them as a doll, but it really did for me. I really had a hard time wanting to draw these characters because I was constantly thinking about like how to shell them. And since it didn't work out, I just stopped drawing them. I stopped thinking about them. In fact, their story, I kind of like just cut it. It's not a story that I actually wrote, it's something that I contemplated, as one sometimes does when it's just for you. It's not like for other people, it's just for you. I just stopped thinking about it. I just thought, like, you know what, the story is old. I mean, these characters are old. These characters are from like high school, and so there's a lot of old stuff that's like, not good. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not really drawing these characters. I'm not really thinking about the story. I think I'm done with them. I think this is the end. So yeah, I kind of just stopped thinking about shelling them, stopped drawing them, and I moved on with my life. And what that entailed was, just collecting dolls that I thought were cute. And one day, now we're getting into the beginning of the spiral here when it comes to what's the, not trilogy, whatever, 4 dolls upcoming. So I'm just looking at dolls that I like, no plans, just collecting whatever it is that fancies me. And Volks comes out with a Dolphy Dream of Marissa from Toho. And I'm not really a Toho fan. I'm not no Tuhu, but this doll is so cute. She is 1000% my aesthetic. I love her unique face. I love her outfit. I love her little broom. Everything about her is adorable. And I had been wanting a vinyl doll for a long time. So I thought, you know what, this is a great chance. And I mean, the big appeal to that is that my close friends, they also collect vinyl dolls. So it's like, you know what, it'd be cute to have her, not just because I think she's cute, she could be like a friend to my friends. I know that's a weird motivation, but I'm really excited for her. But here's the thing. She's not like a normal doll that you can just buy off of the storefront. She's a pre-order, and Volks was graciously very upfront about the wait time. But the wait time is it's a wait. When did I order her? I ordered her maybe like October or November, and she's not going to be ready until like December of this year. So October 2020 to December 2021. Like, oh my goodness. And I know I could be getting those dates slightly wrong, but basically she's a year-long wait. So I'm like, okay, that's okay. I got no doll plans. I'm just chilling. I'm fine. I'm happy. But you know what? When you have a doll that's taking forever, you sometimes, and you shouldn't do this, but just like, dang it, we're human. You look you look to see, you know, like, well, I want to get clothes for her, so let me see, look at clothes. And you look at clothes, and I have a couple of little things for her. And then, dang it. I was thinking to myself, well, it wouldn't hurt to have a resin MSD, right? Because, I mean, I'm going to have clothes for this Dolphy Dream. You know, it's going to... it would be a shame if I didn't have another one. So I started looking at MSD sculpts, and Dollzone, they caught my eye with a limited doll called Dollzone Taru, which is this anthropomorphic rabbit. And, you know, I'm still not thinking about my characters. I'm just, you know, going with the flow. And I think, you know what, that's also my aesthetic. I love, you know, these kind of anthro dolls. And I thought, oh, it'd be cool to style her like my other bunny girl. You know, they could be related, or maybe that could be like a humanoid-ish version of her. So, and she was on sale too. Like, it was not a horrible price. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it was a pretty good price. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go for it. 2 MSDs on the way. You know, that I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of a lot, especially since I've never dealt with this size. I don't even know if I like this size, but you know what? That's okay. That's fine. I probably wouldn't be beating myself up if it just stayed like that. But it didn't. So, okay. So up to this point, as I mentioned before, my trio, my girls, they have been ostensibly discontinued. I haven't been thinking about them. They're not on the forefront of my mind. But, you know, I have this Dollzone Taru on pre-order. And I'm looking at her because, you know, I want to also get clothes for her. I'm looking on Alice Collections and I'm ordering clothes for her. And I'm looking at her. And I'm like, you know what? She's kind of lanky. She's kind of lanky. And she's a rabbit. I have a lanky rabbit character. Gorse. I mean, you know, not literally a rabbit, but figuratively, you know, she's got the bunny ears. And I'm like, you know, I could style her to be like a, you know, different interpretation of Gorse, because I've scrapped the universe that they were from. You know, I felt like it was very uninspired. So there's nothing holding me back from redesigning the character, so to speak. You know, a bunny girl, that's an actual bunny girl, that's fine. Okay, but Gorse is not my main character, though. Gorse is the companion to Portobello. You know, Portobello is my main character, so I'm like, it's fine. You know, I don't need Portobello, but I can have Gorse. I already have Magnolia as an SD. I'll have Gorse as an MSD. But I don't have Portobello. I don't have the main character, my main girl. So, against my better judgment, I start looking at MSD sculpts that could potentially, you know, encapsulate Portobello, because Portobello, as I said before, she's just gotta have sleepy eyes. I would like for her to have like plush lips, maybe an open mouth. I would body type, you know, if she doesn't have a body type resembling hers, that's fine too, because she's gonna be wearing clothes, whatever. But, you know, let's see if maybe I can find something. And since I'm picturing her next to this new interpretation of Gorse that is just like an actual rabbit head, I think, you know what, I can pretty much go for any style that I'd like. It doesn't have to be realistic, it doesn't have to be cartoony or anime. I can get whatever it is that strikes me, because pretty much any kind of aesthetic's gonna match this, you know, rabbit essentially. And you know, one day, Blue Fairy, like a few months after that, like no, not a few months, it was like 1 month after Dollzone came out with Taru, Blue Fairy released this limited sort of like pre-order window. It's they put out like a bunch of their different sculpts that they don't offer too often, like because they always go through rotations of sculpts. So they put out a new rotation, and one of the sculpts was Rachel Tiny Fairy Rachel, who has this really sweet face, very sweet, and also it's available in baked skin. And I don't know if I mentioned this before earlier in the video, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but all of these characters have brown skin. Sorry about that, excuse me for the weird cut. My arm was falling asleep. I'm recording and I have my head resting on my arm. But where was I? Dang it, where was I? Oh yeah, Blue Fairy Rachel in baked skin, very cute. She's got the features in my mind. When I see her, I think, oh yeah, she has the features, and I really like very young looking sculpts. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, this looks younger than she normally would look, but you know what, that's fine. You know, there's no set rules. I don't need to be so rigid. Let's go for it. And I go for it. And at the time, I should also mention that, you know, one of the reasons why I was so I guess open to buying this third MSD was because I had sold a couple of dolls. Like, I had the extra money at the time. I had sold my Gem of Dalhalia. I had sold like a doll head. I think it was my Jelly from Foveo. I sold like a body. Like I sold various. My Argonaut. I like had the money, so I was just like, I had this extra doll funds, so I'm buying dolls that I probably shouldn't be buying. Oh my goodness. So I got this Blue Fairy on the way. I don't know when she's gonna get here, but like she's in production. And then another pre-order thing comes up. And I shouldn't be looking. I'm like, okay, I've got Gorse, I've got Portobello on the way. That's it. You know, should have just wiped my hands, but I kept, you know, looking at stuff, which you shouldn't do. And Little Monica comes out with this what do they call it? Cream cocoa? They came out with a tan skin event. And ever since I joined the hobby, I have wanted a tan skin Little Monica, because I don't know, I just really like their dolls. I just think that they're really pretty. But I didn't have any kind of way to fit it in my collection. I was looking through their dolls just to see, like, well, you know, let's see what it is. You know, not that I'm gonna get anything, but I just want to see. You know, I'm just curious. Haven't looked at them in a while, and I see a sculpt that reminds me not of Magnolia, not of the third one, but of Portobello. I see dang it, I don't remember the name of the sculpt. Was it Clarissa? It was Charlotte. It's this sleepy-eyed doll. And here's the thing, I shouldn't have looked. And I kept looking at her, and I kept comparing her to Rachel, the Blue Fairy. And I'm thinking, I'm like going back, forth, and I'm like, Rachel's got really big eyes. She's a really wide-eyed doll. Why did I think that she was sleepy-eyed? I'm so upset with myself. I think here's my issue. This is not the first time I've tried to shell Portobello. The first time I bought an SD doll, my first SD was a Gem of Dalhalia. That was intended to be Portobello. And then when I got her, I thought, this is a really wide-eyed doll. This is like, does not look sleepy at all. And then I turned her into Magnolia. And now, you know, I'm like really looking at the sculpt of Rachel, which, I mean, I really looked at her before, but I guess I, you know, in my doll fund ecstasy, I didn't scrutinize it as well as I should have, and I thought to myself, this is a really wide-eyed doll. When I get her, I don't think I'm gonna see Portobello in her. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I keep buying wide-eyed dolls for Portobello? And honestly, that's just because that's my doll preference. If I'm buying a doll with no plans, that tends to be what I go for. I like dolls that have big eyes, that have smiles on their face. You know, that's just my preference. So, you know, in shelling Portobello without really having a formulated plan, I just went for something that was my regular sort of preference that didn't exactly fit with her facial features, which is not that she has really rigid facial features, but the main thing is that she needs to have sleepy eyes. And I went for a wide-eyed doll. So I'm like, snap! What am I going to do with Rachel? I mean, she's beautiful. You know, this Blue Fairy doll is beautiful. She's very cute. I really like this aesthetic, but dang it. That doesn't look like Portobello at all. This doll looks like Portobello. And here's the thing. When I'm talking about like my preferences, I have to like confess to myself, even though the character of Portobello has these sleepy eyes, I tend not to gravitate towards that kind of doll aesthetic when it comes to BJDs, because a lot of them are very frowny. They just look so sad. I tend not to like sad dolls, not in other people's collections, but like for myself. Like if I like to look over to my shelf or to my bedside and see my little smiley dolls. So although this Charlotte, I believe, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I should have double checked what the sculpt was. I believe it's a Charlotte, but it's not a smiley doll. But I'm like looking at the sculpt and I'm thinking, you know what, even though this is not smiling, which is something I tend to prefer in dolls, it's not such a prominent frown, and I could draw an open mouth. You see, this is just the cogs in my brain rationalizing buying another doll, as I'm like, it's not super frowny, it is a sleepy-eyed sculpt, it's an MSD. I also looked at the heights of the dolls. It's like, you know, it's a nice height, you know, it's not too tall. It's so the doll zone Taru is still going to be taller, is still going to work next to, you know, Gorse essentially. Snap. I think this, I should have waited. I don't think maybe I should have gotten that Blue Fairy Rachel. I probably should have waited for this. And it's the tan color is beautiful too. It's like a cool tone, and that's kind of rare to find in the BJD hobby. Usually like tan skins tend to go like warm, so it's like a cool tone tan. That's kind of cool. I kind of would like that. And I got it, and I placed a pre-order, and I'm so upset with myself. I'm so upset because now I have 4 MSDs in the way, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the Blue Fairy. I don't want to get rid of her because she's really cute, but like logically, it's just going to be just like the Gem of Dalhalia. It's just Halia, excuse me. It's just going to be like the Gem of Dalhalia. It's just going to be a very cute piece of resin sitting and collecting dust. So I have basically 3 options. The first option is the obvious one, which is to sell her. I don't enjoy selling dolls because it's, you know, making sales posts is no fun. But if I gotta do what I gotta do, I gotta do what I gotta do. The second choice is to create a new character, because like I said, the universe in which these characters exist is not really concrete anymore. It's a new story. There is no story, excuse me. There like is no story. I have nothing. They're just character designs. I'm just figuring them out. So I could theoretically create a new character that is their friend, or companion, or enemy. Who knows? Option number 3 is to turn her into Magnolia. And I don't know how viable that is, but if I manage to turn her into Magnolia, I think that would be hilarious, because that would be the second time Magnolia basically hijacks a sculpt that was intended for Portobello. Because that's what happened to my Gem of Dalhalia. Got her for Portobello, didn't work out as Portobello. I turned her into Magnolia, and I was happy for a while. If this happens with Rachel, that'll be the second time that happens, which is hilarious. So, anyway, I hope that, though I haven't lost, I don't know who's going to listen to this. I'm talking about my dolls as if they're people. But I hope that I haven't lost you all in referencing my characters by name, because I don't have anything to show. All I've been showing this whole entire time has just been B-roll of me putting away a mess of doll clothes. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that. I hope you enjoyed listening to me kind of vent my frustrations at myself for jumping the gun and just buying too many dolls at once. And I don't have a single MSD right now in my hands, you guys. I don't even know if I like this size. I hope I do. Oh my god, I better. I'm just gonna not buy any kind of shoes and stuff. I'm not gonna get any clothes for them. I'm gonna wait. I gotta really wait, okay? I gotta, first of all, you know, these dolls, I gotta other stuff I gotta prioritize, you know. I gotta look into mattresses and computers and stuff. So no more doll stuff. No more doll stuff in a while. But anyway, that I think that's it from me. I hope you guys are doing well. Feel free to share with me any kind of current events in your collection as well. Maybe new dolls, old dolls, new developments, or just you know, what it is that you appreciate or don't. But anyway, that is all for me. I hope you guys have a good day, and thank you for listening, and take care. Bye-bye.